Morning, friends. Okay, so we have a coach sneak peek happening, and I was supposed to go live in it yesterday. I didn't feel well, so I haven't done much this week, but I'm feeling better today, and my body just needed to rest, and so I'm trying to get better at listening to that. But I wanted to pop in here because earlier today, I listened to a Brendon Burchard video on top of my workout, and I shared it in here because I thought it was really powerful, but I took some notes for those of you who don't have the time or you just don't feel like listening to it. I highly recommend it. Listen to personal development because that's what it is, a YouTube video with Brendon Burchard or Mel Robbins. Like, listen to that when you fold laundry or when you do dishes or, vacuum or drive or walk or whatever. Like, there's so many great pockets of our day where you can listen to a part of something. It doesn't have to be the entire thing. So if that's what's keeping you stuck, perfectionist people, I see you. I am you. A little is better than none, right? So just start. But anyway, Brendon Burchard today, he was talking about how a couple things that I wrote down. Number one was, how can you change your frame to however you're going into your life or your day or your workout or parenthood or your relationships? Like, how can you change the frame from fear to joy? And so we've talked about this so many times. I love that Brendon Burchard quote about how power plants don't have energy, they produce energy. And the same goes for us. We produce our emotions. So if you are feeling super anxious and super stuck or super overwhelmed, you're feeding that fear. You're feeding those flames. And so that's why personal development is such a critical part of this journey. It's not just about how you move your body. It's not just about what goes in your pie hole. It really is about what happens up here, because when you work on this on up, this on down falls in place because you start to love yourself and you stop those self-sabotaging behaviors that keep us stuck. And we're all works in progress. Right? There's going to be many layers to your onion that you're going to have to peel, but that's why you do the personal development, you guys. It's free freaking therapy. So today, that was the one thing I wrote down. Well, I wrote down quite a few things, but the other thing was, what judgment do you need to release? And I talked about this over in the coaching group because I think for so many of us, we have these own judgments around ourselves and how we think other people view us, and we allow those thoughts and self-limiting beliefs to keep us stuck, or to keep us from saying yes to something, and to keep us from taking advantage of an opportunity or an experience. And I have always wrestled with my anxiety like big time. When we first moved to Yuma, I wouldn't even drive on the freeway. I wouldn't go into a bank. I wouldn't gas up my car. I had all these like irrational fears, which if you struggle with anxiety, you know it's just irrational. And you could say to all day long, we'll just get over it. But it's something that is inside of you. And more often than not, it's because we are feeding that fear. We're fueling that. And so I'm challenging you today to flip the script and to come up with some affirmations, or to find some personal development that will speak directly to whatever that personal fear is, like you're not good enough, or you're not far enough along, or you're too old, or you're a quitter, like whatever self-limiting crap that you're holding on to. Someone might have said it to you, but you're the one choosing to polish it. You're the one choosing to like take it out and remind yourself, well, I'm just not good at getting results, and I can't find time to get up early. And those are things that we decide. We choose on a super deep primal level to nourish and to allow to flourish. And so I'm challenging you today to become aware of what that is. It's not an overnight thing. You can't just flip a switch and be like, well, I'm no longer going to be fearful, or I'm not going to let my anxiety win, or no, it's something that you're going to have to cultivate, and you're going to have to be mindful around, and you're going to have to do the work in order to change that pattern, because it's a pattern. It's a habit. All right. So what judgment do you need to release? If you listen to the video, which is really awesome, I highly recommend you do, but he talked about how other people aren't thinking about you. They're not. And so a lot of times we're like, well, those people know me from this chapter, or my family sees me as this, or whatever. Like, we have all these self-limiting beliefs around how other people see us, but more often than not, people aren't paying attention. They're not paying attention. They're focused on their own selves and their own stuff, and they're not spending time and energy thinking about you. And if they are, those people, their opinions probably don't freaking matter. And let's pull the quote from Brene Brown about how if you're not in the arena alongside me getting your ass kicked, I'm not really interested in your opinion. Okay? So what judgments are you thinking other people have of you? This is really just a judgment you have of yourself. And how can you surrender that? And what kind of work can you do because the mindset growth, the personal development work is such a personal thing. It's going to be different for all of us. I could tell you all day long that this book resonated with me or I recommend this, but like, you know, in your gut, you know, in your soul, the stuff that you need to work on, and just baby step it. Okay, it's not going to be an overnight change. You don't have to change all the things. We start by starting. You figure out the one thing that's in your way right now, and you just work on that. And you give yourself grace, and you don't beat yourself up for that being an issue, no matter how long. Maybe it has been an issue for a really long time, and you've done the work before. It's okay. You're a living, breathing person. You're going to be a human, and you're going to have shit that you have to work through. We all do. So that brings me to the next thing I wrote down, which really resonated. It was about how it's the being, the doing that gives you the integrity and it gives you the credibility. It's not about the ending. It's not about how your story ends. Nobody cares about how your story ends, okay? And so if you're waiting for your story to end before you have the credibility or you can share it with other people, you're missing so much of the beauty. And if you're always waiting for the ending, you're going to miss out on all the glorious stuff, the messy stuff in the middle, the gooey, the creamy filling, you guys. Get into it. Get into that creamy filled donut. But that, it just like, I was working out and I was listening to it's true. I'm like, well, I don't have this credibility, or this hasn't happened for me yet. And so I need to wait until these things unfold in order to share my thoughts or my story. And so that's something that coaching has taught me, is how every single one of us, you're magical and amazing, and you're going to have your own story and your own struggle and your own opportunity and your own glorious imperfections to share with other people. And you sharing those things, you showing up authentically and sharing your workouts or posting in this group or becoming a coach and sharing your own story, it doesn't mean that you're suddenly an expert. It just means that you're willing to be vulnerable and you're willing to share to inspire other people. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you know that somebody along the way shared for you and inspired you to begin or encouraged you to continue, and that is such a powerful thing. And so when we each lean into the being instead of the end goal, that's where the magic is, you guys. So he said, the question you should always ask yourself is, what's the next right thing? What's the next right thing for you in your journey? Is it for you to show up today? Is it for you to push play? Is it for you to drink your water? Is it for you to edit your circle? Like, what is the next right thing for you to do today? Is it to listen to something you really need to listen to? Or is it to watch freaking Netflix? Like, I can't answer that for you. You know what your next right thing is. And if you're like, well, I'm not sure because there's too many things, just pick one. Stop overthinking and take some freaking action. Okay, so the ending doesn't give you credibility. It's the beginning. The beginning, the being, the showing up, the choosing consistency over perfection. The some is better than none and done is better than perfect. You guys, that's the stuff that gets you there. That's the stuff that moves you closer to your goal, whatever your goal is. Maybe your goal is just to become consistent. Well, then you don't wait to become consistent. You have to take the action to get consistent. So, my friends, I hope today you choose to move your body. I hope that you take a little time to audit this last week and see what have you done that served you and what have you done that maybe has distracted you or kept you feeling stuck. Highlight all your wins, but be honest with yourself and know that you don't have to have it all figured out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. And it's okay if it's a struggle. It's okay if it's not always sexy and easy. That's just not real life, my friends. But every day you choose to show up, every day you choose to be in the middle of the being and to be getting better at being you, that's where the victory happens. And that's where you transform your entire life. It's not about when you finish the program and you suddenly have this big transformation. Yeah, that's great. We all like to have those before and afters. Those, look at me. I did something. I feel so proud of myself. But you guys, the major wins, the huge momentum comes every single day that you choose to show up. And every single day that you lean in, even when it doesn't feel easy or smooth, or maybe you feel maybe you're tired, but you choosing to show up for 5-10 minutes, you choosing to maybe take the nap, like maybe you need the self-care more than you need the workout. Every time you choose to show up and own authentically your own freaking journey, that's how you get momentum and that's how you change your life. And ultimately, if you want to be a coach, that's how you inspire other people. It's not about being perfect or having it all figured out or having some rocket body and some crazy transformation photos. It's about how willing you're going to be to show up every single day and to be authentic and to be vulnerable and to be real and to stop allowing other people's judgments and opinions to dictate who you will be today. Because if you want to get better, you just work at being you every single day. I want to be a better version of myself every single day. And so I don't wait until I've done all the personal development and I've had some major like growth evolution. I just show who I am and what's going on in my life. And that is how, that right there, the choosing to be consistent and the choosing to show up imperfectly, that's what's changed my journey more than anything else. So fist bumping you all today. I'm going to go ahead and drop the menu plan for this week here in a couple minutes. And if you're interested in our coaching sneak peek, go scope it out. There's links all over the place, coaching with the Positive Vibe Tribe. And I'll just be sharing some videos over the next couple days. Some of the Coach Tribe will pop in and kind of share their stories too. It's very much, it is what you make of it. Just like your fitness journey, just like your personal growth journey. It is such a personal thing. It's not like a cookie cutter, one size fits all, because that wouldn't be authentic or genuine. And that's 100% what we do as coaches. It's just to work on our own journey imperfectly perfect every single day. That's what it's all about, friends. Move your body, drink your water, remind yourself of your truths, and figure out like what's the one thing you can take action with this week that's going to move you closer to the version of yourself that you want to be.